Hey, I'm Mr. Hart, and today we're going to talk about combining like terms, distributive property, and then what a problem looks like when you put them all together. So, for combining like terms, really what we're doing, we're looking at terms or numbers or however you want to think about it that are the same type. So I like to say you want to put all your apples together, all your oranges together. So first we want to look and see which terms all have the variables with it. So here my variable is x. So I've got a 3x and a 4x. So when I put those two together, that gives me a total of 7x. And then I also want to look at my integers, or I might say my regular numbers. And here I have a -8 and a +10. Now we want to make sure that the number, the sign in front of the number, stays with it. So a -8 and a +10, you can think about it as -8 plus 10 or 10 minus 8. It doesn't matter which way you think about it. So I'll think about it like 10 minus 8 just because that's the way we normally say things. And that gives me a +2. And this is my answer because I cannot combine a 2 with 7x's. Those are not like terms. So that's as far as we can go there. Then for the distributive property, most of the time we want to simplify whatever's in the parentheses first. But here, we can't take 7 away from 3x. So we need to take the number on the outside and we want to multiply it by each term on the inside of the parentheses. So 5 times 3x is going to give me a total of 15x. And then we have 5 times a -7, which gives me a -35. Again, that is as far as we can go because we cannot combine those two terms because they are not alike. Then over here on this one, we're kind of taking both of those ideas and we're putting them together into one problem. So I see the parentheses right off the bat, so I know I want to get rid of those, and I want to figure out what do I want to distribute to each term in the parentheses. A common mistake is a lot of people might think that they need to distribute the 6 because they see that's a number there, but that is not what's directly in front of the parentheses. So we have the negative sign here, and we want to distribute it. Now, what I like to do is I like to just go ahead and work left to right. So since I'm not doing anything with this 6x, I'm just going to keep it still and bring it down. Then I want to distribute this negative to each term. And whenever we're distributing just a negative, we can think about it like a -1 or multiplying by a negative, but really all we're doing, we're just changing the signs. So instead of a +2x, whenever you multiply a negative with it, it's now -2x. And instead of a +3, when we put that negative with it, it's now a -3. Then over here, my -9x and -7, because those are not inside the parentheses, we can just bring those down. There's nothing to do with it yet. So then from here, we want to simplify it and combine like terms. So I need to figure out what all of my x values are. So I have 6x, a -2x, and a -9x. And we can just think about it as working left to right. So 6x minus 2x is going to give me a 4x. So I can kind of write that there. So I'm done with those. And then we still have the -9x. So a 4x minus 9x, or -9x, is going to give me a -5x. Because we have different signs when we put them together, our answer is going to be what the difference is in the middle, and we keep the sign of the larger quantity. So we've got a -5x here. Then my integers, or my regular numbers, as I say a whole lot, is we want to combine those. So I have a -3 and a -7. Now, a lot of students get misconfused because they think a negative and a negative makes a positive, but that's only for multiplication and division. So here, whenever we're combining, we're putting two things together, I've got 3 negatives here, and I've got 7 negatives here. So we're putting all those negatives into one big pile, and that gives me a total of 10 negatives. And that is my final answer because, again, we cannot combine them because those are not like terms. And now you know more.